The historic March 2019 flooding was one of the worst disasters in recent memory. The floodwaters damaged many homes, businesses, and even threatened OPPD's plants and electrical grid. But we weren't going down without a fight to protect ourselves and the community.
Electricity is the lifeblood of a community, and keeping that electricity on not only helps us to withstand, but it also helps us to restore.
We'll explore the effort OPPD employees put into keeping the lights on and some examples of going beyond the call of duty. This flood was unique in 4 ways that led to the historic event we experienced.
We'd been trying to discharge a lot of water out of the dams. Temperature started melting everything, but the ground was still frozen. On top of that, we had rainfall. Water started running off, went into all the lakes, streams, and dams throughout the area.
With water comes new hazards.
Water coming out of the river systems. It usually brings bacteria, trees, animals, and so the water itself becomes a hazard.
Work at Fort Calhoun Station had already begun to shore up its levees and barriers.
The lessons learned that we captured from the 2011 flooding event helped us be incredibly prepared for this particular event.
Accountants, human capital representatives, and vice presidents worked alongside substation crews and nuclear engineers to protect the plant and the substation. With Fort Calhoun well on its way to completing its barriers, water level conditions started to rise quickly.
That peak went from 1,003 to 1,005 to 1,006. Then it's like, we got work to do.
With new challenges becoming clear, OPPD had 2 days before the floodwaters peaked to come together, and fast.
We look at impact to employees, so that's safety is always number one. Impact to facilities, impact on operations. So if any of those 3 things are impacted, then BCP is activated, which means we bring in the entire 50-person emergency business continuity team. We go to 24/7 staffing.
Many other people immediately, within minutes of the activation, they came on board and they started leading their respective teams. It was amazing. It was not a panic room. It was a communication and coordination room.
There's a lot of players, but it was segmented in different areas, and it actually made the coordination a lot easier.
You can see how somebody's asking a question, other people join in to help figure out how to support the question that's being asked. I felt honored by being in the room with people.
As crews moved to Nebraska City Station, Unit 1 was in an outage. Our outage team stopped work and turned to fortifying levees and substations. As a precaution, we shut down Unit 2, which put OPPD in a unique generation position.
We had to take Unit 2 off because we were concerned really about people safety, about what happens if a levee does breach or what happens if the water comes over the levee.
And to make sure that the transmission flows through our system were operating correctly, we had to really call on our peaking units to start generating to give us the stability that we needed in the Omaha area. We also had all 5 units at North Omaha running through this whole event.
They start up, they come down, that's the nature of that beast, but man, they ran for long periods of time, almost 10 times more hours than they have traditionally run continuously.
Was critical to keeping our generation going and keeping power going to our customers.
As the floodwaters rose around the tributaries like the Platte River, communities became islands as roads and bridges were underwater. A line crew and electrical designer were cut off from Fremont. The business continuity team planned to get them back by boat, but the crew only had one response: who will be here to fix outages? They stayed living and working out of their trucks for almost 3 days. They were able to keep a substation pumped, do complicated switching, and restore power to many before returning home. After the peak has passed all OPPD facilities, the levees and barriers have held.
It was nice to see that our efforts were put to use and they were on point. That our plan worked. It made you feel good about what we do.
Generation resumed at Nebraska City, and our work turned to getting folks back on. Our core values of passion to serve, care for each other, and honor our community shone strong during this flood.
Our number one thing is safety of our employees, and then 2 is keep the lights on. We did that for almost all of our customers.
See, they were up to the task. They had the right skills, knowledge, and abilities and the resources to respond.
I'm incredibly proud of this organization. It is truly a family. We care for each other, we honor our community, and we have a passion to serve that was demonstrated during this recovery event.
It's that kind of teamwork, not only within OPPD but outside of OPPD, that I feel probably the proudest of in what we did and how we did it. It's let's do the right thing, but let's do it in the right way. And I think we lived up to that in this 2019 flood.
But this is not the end. We continue to work with our community to re-energize those returning home. We continue to strengthen our infrastructure, and we continue to be your energy partner.